Make sure it's live, and then we'll minimize the browser so I don't see us in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we're live now. If we are, then they see.
Or not. It says we're live, right?
Okay, now we are live. Yes, I believe so. So we're live on Facebook. Welcome, everybody, and welcome, Mary. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Not a problem. So I will open up the questions here. So what we're going to talk about is Mary was just in, well, you've done a few things. You were doing some of the Radical Undoing sessions, and you were part of the Radical Stress Relief group. You came through my friend Blake, I believe.
That's right.
In Minnesota, one of my longest and best friends ever. And Mary actually lives where I grew up in Fridley, Minnesota, which is amazing. That was such a funny
That's so funny. Coincidence.
Yeah. And I know that city. I mean, sure it's changed, but I know the layout of that place like the back of my hand. It's
so funny.
It's really cool. So
small world.
Yeah, very, very cool. There's a nice connection back to where I came from. So the first question is just what was life like before you started working with me and with the Radical Undoing training? Like if we took a time machine back and go back to where you were before, the challenges you're facing, and any pains or frustrations you had, what was that like?
Yeah. So yeah, like you said, I hooked into your I forget what it was called back in May.
Radical Stress Relief Summits.
Thank you. And so before that, probably for the last 4 or 5 years, I've just been doing a lot of searching and seeking and looking for answers or solutions or whatever. And so I think I'd made a lot of progress, but was still kind of just at the cusp of sort of what, I don't know what the word would be. I don't want to say waking up, of just having a better life. I mean, I had a pretty good life, but I could tell there was just something that I needed to push, or some door that needed to open before the last 6 months.
Okay, great. And then what was your experience? And we'll talk specifically, I guess, about the intensives, because that's the most, robust of the training.
Right.
What was your experience as you went through it? Like any ahas or epiphanies that you might have?
Yeah, so the Radical Stress Relief Summit that you had in May was really interesting because there were a lot of good speakers. And so I found, and that kept kind of drawing me in, and I was just learning things from different points of view, or different people who had done things differently, or different things than I had ever done. And so that was helpful just in sort of opening up my willingness to try more things, or just kind of let go of more things. Because I've also been working on letting go of everything physically in my house, and then with that just out of the head. And so then after that was in May, and I think maybe sometime in June or July, I signed up for a couple of the sessions, the relief sessions. And so I kept like, yeah, I don't want to do Radical Undoing. And then there would be some little like, this might be interesting. And so I was kind of all summer back and forth, like, yeah, I don't want to do this. And then I would be like, yeah, oh, this is kind of interesting. Let me try it again. And so, yeah, so I spent most of the summer kind of back and forth. And I think just even that was helpful, because I've gotten to the point where I'm not really searching anymore, or seeking answers or gurus or any of that. So, but every once in a while I'd be like, but this is kind of interesting. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's doing. And so it kind of hooked me in that way.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. So, and then, so I guess the elaboration is then what was your experience as you were going through the intensives? Like what was the aha or any that you had?
The intensives was interesting because I think I signed up fairly close to the deadline, because I was going back and forth like, yeah, I don't need this. Yeah, this, but there's that little interesting thing. And so the intensives was, I keep using interesting. It was, I had a lot of resistance to a lot of the things, but I also welcomed that, because it was a good learning experience just to see where the resistance came up. what I was resisting and what I didn't want to do. And so, yeah, it was fun to watch the resistance and watch, the you're not the boss of me, and just like those immature like things popping out, and so that was a fun experience, just to kind of be pushed a little bit to get out of my comfort zone and try things, and so I really appreciated that. I thought it was really helpful.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. It is interesting when we decide to do something and then have that same, I've had that so many times myself in many, many trainings where I'm like, oh, I need help with this. I don't understand it, or I want to solve this issue. And then I get into it and then I'm like, you don't know me,
Right.
And then I'm like, wait a second. If I knew how to do this, I wouldn't have even sought this out in the first place. So
Right.
I guess I better try it out. It's such a strange thing, but I think we all go through that in
I think so.
greater or lesser degree.
Well, yeah, and you sign up and then you're like, oh my God, what did I sign up for? And I don't have time and I don't want to do this. But a lot of the exercises were super interesting, and I got a lot out of it. I feel like I really sort of got my voice out of it, and my boundaries, like, yeah, I'll go here, but I'm not going beyond this. I'm not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's even spilled out over into regular day, like my regular life, so to speak, like at work or something. And so, yeah, I think I have stronger boundaries now. And what was I going to say? Stronger boundaries. I got my voice, and I don't feel shame anymore. Like, I don't know that you could shame me into, like a lot of the exercises. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing it because I'm not going to. I don't believe in it, or I don't see the value.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't feel like you couldn't shame me into doing them anymore, because it was like, yeah, that's not happening anymore.
And that's more important than actually doing or not doing it, because
Absolutely.
exercise is one thing among, like, say, 500 things you do during the month. So
Right.
you're going to get the results either way. And in a certain sense, just by signing up, you're destined to get the results you're after. There's no way off the ride, even if you were to quit it, because now you're face to face with the thing that was formerly in the unconscious or hidden from yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's kind of funny that way.
Yeah. It works wonders. It's amazing. And I was really happy to see your progress in those ways. So then finally, what did you create for yourself then? And you kind of answered this, but by going through the program, like, what results are you seeing now that you weren't before?
Yeah, I think basically it's the I think I have a lot more confidence in what I'm doing, or what I want to do, or what I want to try to do, or yeah, I still have to a few demons to slay in that area, but just trying things and going for it.
No, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've even noticed there's like a subtle shift on your posts and things. And you were mentioning, I just read one today where you had said, "Oh, I drove by this thing and I decided to drive down the driveway and saw this beautiful scene of the snow-covered trees," and just that general. Would you say that's, you've gotten deeper even with that level of internal guidance and appreciation?
Yeah, I think over the summer, because I over the summer I started doing these random road trips where I designed those. And on that first trip, I started this process of, if I see something and I whiz by it, I stop and I go back. And so I started that this summer, and it's incredible, the things you see that you just whiz by.
Right, and that's kind of a good metaphor for a lot of life in general, not
Absolutely.
just walking by.
Yeah.
There's so much missed when just if you have a sense of rushing through life.
Mm-hmm.
Even
Absolutely.
the textures of your own experience.
Yeah, no, it's an amazing thing to do. I would suggest it to everybody.
No, that's very cool. Right. Well, any closing thoughts about the undoing or the mutant training? Anything you'd suggest to people who are on the fence?
Yeah, I think it's a good thing to try if you can. It's it'll push you, and it will probably piss you off a few times here and there, but that's also good.
That's in a safe container, so
Yeah.
nothing bad's going to happen. So then
Yeah.
you actually experience some of the depths and the richness of what it is to be a human, but without a lot of consequences where it might happen. If you're at a job and that happens,
Right.
then yeah.
And I would also say to be true to yourself. Like if there's an exercise that you don't want to do or something that's, part of it is, push yourself, and like that could just be a resistance, but also look, listen to yourself.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. And I try to put that as the overarching attitude in there. And of course, my job is going to be to push.
Push,
Where
right.
most people don't have that pressure. But then at the same time, you need to learn to push back. And like you said, that
Yep.
you know where the boundary is. And the only way to discover it is in that experience of resistance.
Yep. And it's okay to put the boundary down and maybe be the only one who sees something that you don't like.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah, that's
It's
great.
okay.
And that's like the level I want everyone to get to, is where they realize they follow their own internal guidance.
Mm-hmm.
Know what is right and what's not. So there's that kind of thing when someone says trust your gut, there's two ways that can go. One is where you're like, oh, I know this is not cool for me. I'm not jumping off the bridge in the river, or whatever it is. It's not right for you. And then there's that other one where it's like, ooh, this is freaky, but this is the right thing. I'm going to do this.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Learning to tell the difference between those two means you're opening the door to a life full of being able to be guided from within, instead of having to process everything intellectually all the time, rationalize.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of like everything. Don't just blindly follow what Garrett says.
Right.
Question it and do it, but also, be cognizant of where you are.
Yeah, and it grosses me out if there's someone trying to follow everything that I say. I'm kind of like, oh no.
Oh no, it's just
I
me, Garrett.
yeah, just the garbage man. No,
It's like this boy from Minnesota.
So I thrive on that back and forth and on that resistance as well. So it's really cool.
Good.
I'm glad you were a part of it. It was a wonderful experience and cool to see.
No, it was worth it. Definitely.
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot, Mary. I'm going to sign off for now, but
All right.
I'm glad we're in touch, and I really look forward to seeing a book or a YouTube channel or all the above for this random road trip. I think everyone can benefit.
Coming.
And I would buy that. I would buy that in an instant. And
it's a really fun idea.
I really want a signed copy, though.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Very cool.
All right. Thanks a lot. Have a good New Year.
All right. Talk to you again soon. Happy New Year, Mary.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Later.
Later.